Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're digging into a really powerful idea from Dr. Vikatumba Rao that honestly could completely change how you see yourself. He makes this case that personality isn't something you're just born with, but something you can actually build. We tend to think of our personality as this fixed thing, right? Well, today we're going to flip that whole idea on its head. So, what if your personality isn't some kind of genetic lottery ticket? You get what you get, and that's it. What if it's more like a house, a structure that you can design, build, and decorate, piece by piece, all throughout your life? That's the huge idea we're diving into. And Dr. Rao, he just puts it so simply and beautifully. Just as good food builds the body, good conduct builds your character. I mean, that's it right there. It's such a simple but profound analogy, and it's really our starting point. It tells us that our personality is never meant to be static. It's supposed to grow with us. So where do we start? Well, you start with the foundation. And yep, that foundation is our physical body. I mean, think about it. Before you can build up your mind or your character, you need a strong, healthy base to build on. It's the vessel, the vehicle that carries you through life. So we got to take care of that first. So how do we do that? Well, according to Dr. Rao, it really comes down to two simple pillars. First, you've got to nourish your body with a balanced diet. And second, you have to protect it with daily exercise. And look, the goal here isn't about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about creating a healthy, energetic body that can actually support all the amazing things you want to do. And the best part? This doesn't have to be some huge, complicated thing. Dr. Rao recommends just 15 minutes a day. That's it. He points to 3 core yoga poses: a simple forward bend, the triangle pose, and the bow pose. It's a really simple, super effective routine to get that physical foundation started. Okay, so once we've got that strong physical foundation in place, we can move up to the next layer, the mind. And Dr. Rao calls this the master blueprint. This is the framework for how we learn, how we grow, and, how we actually achieve our goals. To sharpen the mind, Dr. Rao has this absolutely brilliant analogy for learning. I love this. He says for young kids, learning is like cat logic. The teacher basically carries the student, taking all the responsibility, just like a mother cat carries her kitten by the scruff of its neck. But for higher education and for life, we have to switch to monkey logic. This is where the student has to actively hold on to the teacher, taking the initiative, asking the questions, just like a baby monkey has to cling to its mother to go anywhere. It's this massive, crucial shift from being a passive passenger to an active learner. So how do we put that monkey logic into practice? Well, there's a really clear path here. You can see it on the screen. It all starts with defeating laziness. Once you do that, it awakens a sense of responsibility. And that responsibility, it naturally fuels enthusiasm. Enthusiasm builds perseverance, that grit to keep going. And with that drive, you can actually plan your work effectively. And that plan is what leads to victory. You see how each step just logically clicks into the next? It's like a powerful chain reaction. Dr. Rao also gives us what you might call the ultimate brain hack. It's a powerful technique for sharpening the mind, one that's rooted in some really ancient practices. And it all has to do with waking up during a very special pre-dawn window of time, a time known as Brahma Muhurtam. Yeah, you're seeing that right, around 3:45 a.m. I know, it sounds incredibly early. But why then? Well, the belief is that at this specific time, the atmosphere is just filled with the potent thought waves from meditating sages and yogis. It's like the air is charged with focus. And if you can tap into that energy, your mind can work like mercury. You can just absorb and grasp even the toughest subjects with this amazing clarity. And if 3:45 a.m. is a bit much to start with, he offers a few other really practical tips. First, get a solid 6 hours of sleep. That's absolutely crucial for converting your short-term memories into permanent ones. Second, and this is a big one for all of us, avoid phone addiction. I love how he puts it, your goals are as close as your phone is far. And finally, for a little mental boost, he suggests a simple daily chant, Shivaya Gurave Nama. It's a mantra that honors the teacher within all of us, and it's meant to cultivate intelligence and clarity, just 10 times a day. All right, so we've built the body's foundation, and we've sharpened the mind's blueprint. Now we get to what might be the most crucial part of the whole structure, our character. This is our inner compass, the thing that guides literally every single action we take. So, how do we build good character? Well, one really amazing tool is something called Subhashitas. The word literally means well-spoken truths. But what are they really? Think of them as the life essence of wise people totally distilled into a single powerful sentence of advice. These are people who lived full, messy, complicated lives. They saw it all. And at the end, they boiled down everything they learned into one nugget of wisdom. And by learning from them, we get to download their wisdom without having to go through all their pain. Pretty good deal, right? And this story is just a perfect example of a Subhashita's power. It comes from the mighty Ravana. On his deathbed, he shared his one great regret. He had this amazing plan to build a staircase to heaven, but he just kept putting it off. So his final advice was this: if you have a good deed in mind, do it today, right now, because you have no idea if you'll even have it tomorrow. But if you have a bad thought or a bad impulse, postpone that. And keep postponing it indefinitely. Chances are you'll never get around to it. So powerful. Now, our character is also hugely shaped by how we're raised. Dr. Rao gives this really clear 3-stage timeline for parenting. From birth up to age 5, he says you pamper the child, just give them love. Then from ages 6 to 15, that's when their energy is just boundless. So that's the time for discipline, to give them structure and guidance. But then there's a big shift. Once they turn 16, your role changes again. You have to become their friend and guide them as a trusted equal, not just a disciplinarian. Okay, but what about one of the biggest roadblocks to good character? The ego. We all have it. How do you deal with that? Dr. Rao's advice here is just beautifully simple. He says, go watch the sunset. That's it. Just go outside, watch the sun go down, and as you're taking in the sheer vastness of the sky and the universe, you can't help but realize how small your own place is within it all. And in the face of that kind of infinite beauty, the ego just naturally starts to fade away. So we've laid the foundation with the body, drawn the blueprint with the mind, and built the inner compass with character. Now we reach the final summit, the capstone on the pyramid. This is the thing that gives meaning to everything else, our purpose. And this final summit, our purpose, it's built on a foundation of pure courage. Dr. Rao says something pretty radical here. He says the most powerful person in the world isn't the richest or the smartest, it's the bravest. Because life is going to throw problems at you, that's a guarantee. The key is to face them head on, not try to escape them. Courage is what lets you live a full life, instead of a life hiding from fear. And that connects perfectly to how we think about failure, right? If you're terrified of failing, you can't be courageous. So Dr. Rao brings in this amazing quote from the great Abdul Kalam to completely reframe it for us. FAIL is just your first attempt in learning. It's not the end of the road, it's just a data point, it's a lesson, and it's an absolutely necessary step on your way to actually succeeding. So where do we actually find this ultimate purpose? Dr. Rao makes it so much simpler than we think. He says your purpose is found in your duty, what's called dharma. And this isn't some huge, epic, mystical quest. No, it's about doing what's right in front of you right now. If you're a student, your duty is to study. If you're a professional, your duty is to serve. If you're a parent, your duty is to care for your kids. Just doing your immediate duty, but doing it with excellence. That is what it means to live a life of purpose. And in the end, all of this incredible wisdom, from the body to the mind to character to purpose, it can all be boiled down to one single golden rule. Dr. Rao says that the great sage Vyasa summarized the essence of 1 billion books, 1 billion, into this one sentence. Helping others is virtue. Harming others is sin. That's it. That's the ultimate guiding principle for a well-built, meaningful life. So that brings us to the final thought, the question for you to take away from all this. If your entire life story, with all of its ups and downs, all its lessons, if it were distilled down into one single Subhashita, one sentence of wisdom for the next person, what would yours say? Thanks for watching.